Hi, I'm Brian, or Fat Dad from Fat Dad's Woodshop. And if you want to build a table that can be both small and large, a lot of times you can build a table with a leaf in it. One of the easiest leaves to make is a hinged leaf. And one of the most refined and, in my opinion, nicest looking hinged leaves that are out there is a drop leaf. And I'm going to show you how to make one of those today. Fat Dad Woodshop. Now, a leaf with a standard hinge would be two pieces with 90-degree edges that go together, and the hinge would be underneath the seam, and it would hinge back and forth like this. Now, this is sturdy, it's functional, it works absolutely. It's not particularly nice looking, and the leaf, you will see, ends up hanging off the end of the table quite a bit. Maybe a little bit more than you like, and you've got these squared off edges, and nothing really looks all that refined. And so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some drop leaves. And what a drop leaf does is you've got these two shapes that interlock with each other, and you have this nice kind of refined, almost an OG edge that goes all the way around the table, whether the leaf is up or down. It goes all the way around the table, and the hinge itself turns so that this curved shape actually follows when the leaf drops down, and the drop leaf will actually drop more to the inside of the table, and so it leaves less of that leaf sticking out when it's in the down position, and you have a nicer looking edge of the table when the leaf is down. And when the leaf is back up, not only does this nice line continue all the way around the table, but you also have extra support of the wood underneath the seam here where the leaf and the table touch each other. And so there's a few tricks that I use, and I make this on the router table. The two bits that I use to make this on the router table are very, very standard bits. This is a Kolve bit, and you can see that it's got the convex rounded shape and a roundover bit. And the one thing that you have to do is have a matched pair of these. In other words, they have to have the same radius. These two happen to be 3/8 or about 10 millimeter radius. And you have to kind of match that to the thickness of the material that you're using. This is 3/4 material. So a good rule of thumb is around half of the thickness of your material should be the radius of your bit. And this lip here on the top should be half of that. So this is 3/4 material. This is a 3/8 roundover, and this is about a 3/16 inch lip. And you know that those measurements don't have to be perfect. And for our metric people, of course, you'll have to convert. But these are very, very standard bits. And the heck of it is the most router bit sets usually come with a set of these, and most people don't actually even know what they're for. Now, what I've done here, and this is a good idea on a lot of projects, is I have cut out of a piece of scrap wood that's the same thickness as what my project is going to be. I've cut out a sample of what I'm going to do for these hinges. Now, this will not only help me dial in the bits, but this can be used as a jig later on to reset all of my bits to the correct height again, so that they're the same every single time. If I want to make another drop hinge, this made out of the same thickness of material. And I'm going to start with the Kolve bit, and that's what makes this inside curve right here. And the reason I'm doing that is just because I need to make the fewest number of cuts with that cut. I'm going to start with the bit lower than it needs to be and make smaller, shallow passes until I bring it up to the height that I'm going to want it. And then, of course, I have to match that. When I cut this cut here, the inside, the concave cut here with the Kolve bit, you do that with the leaf. You cut that on the inside edge of the leaf, and you do that with the leaf top face up. When you cut the round over, you do that all the way around and on the other three sides of the leaf, and you do that face down. And so that makes it a little bit tricky to get those heights exactly the same, so that you get this nice matchup when the leaf is up. So it's a really good idea to cut these scrap pieces first and then use them to set up your bits so everything is exactly the same. And now that I've made a couple of shallow passes on my finished project, I'm going to use my jig here to set the final height for this bit. So now I've switched over to my roundover bit, and I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm going to make probably about 2 light passes and then move this all the way up to the final height. And here again, I'm going to mention this. I'm going to cut this with the top of the table down, so that the roundover is cutting on the top of the table. And I'm going to cut on the leaves, I'm going to cut the 3 sides that don't have this concave shape. And on the tabletop, I'm going to cut all 4 sides so everything matches up. And then on my final height, I'll dial it in and sneak up on the size. I've got all this milling done. I've got the table, or part of the table, sitting here face down or top down on my workbench, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the hinges and the placement of the hinges for the drop leaf. You can see the joint right here, and the hinge that you want to use, they make drop leaf hinges that are specific for that, but they can sometimes be kind of hard to find, and they can be a little bit expensive. And what I like to do to save a little bit of money and time is to use a gate hinge. But the big thing that you need for a hinge for a drop leaf is that it has to be longer on one end than the other, so that it can reach all the way over onto your leaf. This is the leaf, this is the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to place that there. And now intuitively, you would think that the barrel of the hinge, this is the barrel, would sit directly here in the middle of what looks like the middle of the joint. But you're not going to actually do that. What you want to do is the barrel of the hinge should line up right here with this line on the bottom, so that when this turns, it will turn on this fulcrum toward the inside, and that's why this has to be a longer part of the hinge. Now these are bigger hinges than I actually need, but I want to go for that oversized look on this particular project anyway, because this is going to be a coffee table and it's going to be a little bit of an unorthodox design. But then I will put this all together and I'll show you how this works. And here is the leaf with the hinges installed. Pet Dad Woodshop.